Hello, Faith family, and welcome back to another episode of A New Creation, True Life Testimonies. I'm your host, Vanessa Moore. I am so looking forward to our next guest. We have an awesome testimony today. My brother, Wang from A Rock for a Pillow Ministries, is going to share his testimony of how he came from Buddhism to Jesus Christ. He has an exciting story. Please help me welcome Brother Will. Hey, brother, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you, Vanessa?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Glad that we can make this happen. You have quite a beautiful story. I'm super excited. So how about we just jump right into it? I guess we can just go back to your childhood or back to China, which is where you came from, correct?
Yep, that's where I'm come from. Um, so I was born in China. Pretty much, I was raised 22 years for 22 years over there.
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to just go right into how well, you said something pretty interesting that we don't really face here in the States, is that your parents, you were sort of an unwanted child, I guess, in a sense, that it's kind of rare to have, I guess, more than one boy in the family. You want to start there? That's pretty,
Absolutely. Yep,
yeah.
definitely. So what happened was there was a one-child policy. I'm not sure people have ever heard about it, but what it does is back in the 80s, last century, because we have a lot of population, so our government trying to control the population growth, and the way they do it is to establish a law, which is one-child policy. They only allow one family to only have one boy. So if you have two or three boys, you're gonna either abandon the second or third boys, and or let them die. So there's two possibilities: either abandonment, which is just the parents will let go of the baby, and just let the government take over. So what happened to the baby later is the baby gonna die, most likely. So that's what happened back then, and that one-child policy, I think, last until beginning of this century, and but just recently, China has start our government changing the policy because situation changed, our population start dropping, so now they want people to have more babies. So it's kind of, yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty incredible. So what happened from that point forward? You were obviously your parents decided to keep you.
Yep. So what happened was when I grow up, and I didn't know what happened, and but sometimes my parents will just they make a joke out of me, and they were saying like, Will, you adopted, right? And I was like, I didn't understand what they were talking about, what they meant. So I just keep asking, and they don't really answer me. They didn't really try to answer me. But one time, I remember I seriously like request to get their answer why they keep saying, I'm adopted. So my mom was just sharing her story. It's actually my story too. So she told me, when I was born, and I happened to be the second boy, and in my family, and at that time, because of the one-child policy, and my parents were faced with the decision whether to keep me or just let me go. So they have to choose one, and most people would just let go the baby, at that time.
Oh my
Because,
gosh.
yeah, or they gotta pay a lot of money for me. Um, so, well, like I say, my family wasn't really, well off or better off at that time. So money was a good concern for my parents. So at the beginning, my parents didn't really want to keep me, so they decided to let me go. And then later, my mom told me somehow her heart changed, and so she felt kind of sympathetic over me. She doesn't want me
Hmm.
to just you know just being taken over by the government and pretty much die. So she talked to my dad, and convinced my dad to keep me. So they pay a lot of money for me, and for that I I'm here. I survived. So I really appreciate what my mom did. But in my testimony, I point out, I realize, now that I'm really grateful, the God of Israel, because that's you know, who, well, the God that truly saved me, not any man, but he used my parents to do that. So
Wow. Wow, that's insane for anyone who's listening or anyone who lives in America. That's not the kind of life that we live over here. That's unheard of. So, I mean, for that to be kind of the norm in China is pretty remarkable. So, wow. Well, we're glad that you're here too. So, what happened from that point forward?
yeah, what happened later was I grew up and because my family our families are all Buddhist, so we worship a Buddha. And what we do as a tradition is we will go to temple every New Year. That's what we do, and we go to temple and bow down to temple, and so it's not like all the other religions out there. And so I didn't know why my parents were doing that kind of religion. So I just follow along, tag along with my brother, and so pretty much, when I go to the Buddha temple and ask for, I pray to the Buddha and just asking for anything that's beneficial to me, you know. So and that's pretty much what was going on, and I was a Buddhist boy, and I didn't have any relationship with the Buddha. That's something I never felt it. I never felt it growing up in my childhood, but just following my parents' tradition. So and so pretty much I go to temple and just asking for what Buddha can do to me, right? And but I didn't know anything better. And just after that, growing up and going through junior high, senior high school, and nothing really happened. But then there are many like turning points, as I point out in my testimony, right? I have many turning points that God of Israel has put in my life to lead me slowly to Him. So the first turning point, it happened in my high school year, and so just to give people a background, what the typical Chinese boy life is in China. Like probably Chinese people are known for studying very hard, you know, very good at mathematics and physics, right? So that's what I was really passionate about, in my junior high school year and even high school year. So I really love mathematics and physics and science, disciplinary, but I didn't have any passion for Chinese or even English, right? English was like not even mandatory course, but for some reason, in my the sophomore year in high school, so the high school system is different from American in China. So I try to explain to you, like what will be the equivalent system to American education system. So in the second year in high school, um, for some reason, I just had a like huge hunger for learning English. I didn't have that before. I wasn't even like the interested in English, before that point. But for some reason, it's just my craziness for English started growing, and I started memorizing English vocabulary, buying a Oxford English dictionary, like which is like this much thick, right? And start memorizing that, which is crazy. It
Wow.
eyes my Chinese peers. And one time, I remember I was memorizing the English vocabulary in a math class, and my desk mate, he like spot me what I was doing, and he was like, "Will, what you doing?" It's like I told him, I'm reciting the English vocabulary, and he's like, "English dictionary? This is math class, why are you doing this?" But anyway, so I just want to share this to stress like my my hunger and passion and craziness for English start growing at that point, and that's super important because the fact that I'm actually here in America, not in China, and the fact
Mm-hmm.
that I'm here is because I'm able to come here with my English ability because I have
Wow.
to pass English test in China to be able to come here. So
Wow.
without the English the hunger, my interest in English developed at that time, I probably wouldn't even able to come to America. Thus, I probably never heard about God of Israel.
Wow. Wow.
Um, so after that point, that's the first turning point in my life, right? So without that, it wouldn't lead me to my study in America, and so and then the next turning point happened in like junior year in college, and what happened was, so my friends asked me to go to a swimming pool to swim, and at that point I didn't know how to swim, and I couldn't even float. So, but I went with my friends, right, and they teach me how to swim and everything. So we first started in the shallow part of the swimming pool, and it was okay. They taught me how to swing swing my hands and everything. I got it. I got hold of it, but I couldn't float. That's that was the biggest problem. So um and later my friends, they were bored because in the shallow part there's so many people over there, so they want to move to deeper side of the swimming pool, which is about 2 meters high. Um, so and I didn't really want to go, but my friends, they really want me to go with them. So, okay, I'm going with you guys, and they promised me they will they will protect me, right? So I went with them, and I stayed at the corner of the swimming pool with my friends at the beginning, and we just talk. But later, my friends, they all like secretly swam away. They let me alone, let me alone at the corner of the swimming pool. So I was like, oh, what kind of friends are they? They promised they're gonna keep me, protect me at the swimming pool, but they all swam away. So what happened later was by myself, and I was bored. Over maybe like 20 minutes, I was there by myself. I was like, what am I doing next? Like, I can't just sit here, do nothing. So I decided to practice my breath holding, and what I did was I just closed my eyes and take deep breath, and let go my hands, but my whole body was right next to the shore. So I was trying to make sure I'm right next to the shore. Whenever I feel don't feel safe, I can just stretch my hand and to grab the shore and then get up there. So that's what I thought. So I just let go of my hands and then going down into the water. And after 30 seconds, I was in the water, and I couldn't, hold breath anymore. So I decided to go up there, and I stretch up. I reach out my right hand, and I didn't touch anything, and stretch out my left hand, still nothing. I didn't touch anything. So basically, I was so panicked in the water. I didn't know where I was at. So and I was trying to figure out, what I need to do next to get up that water, because my breath was not was not enough, and I need to get up there, get some air to for more breath. So and at that point, I told myself, Will, calm down, calm down. What can I do? What can I do to get myself up there? So I tried a couple of things, in the water, trying to put my body down to the bottom, and then just step my legs, and then and try to get up above the water, right, to save time. And try a couple of times, two times, nothing happened. And I was like, I was stuck in the water. and it was almost like at least after 1 minute in the water, and I was like, oh no, this is not getting better. So I I need to do something, or I'm gonna die today here in the water. So what happened in the water at the moment is there's so many things going through my mind. So I'm not gonna go into all the details. For people out there, you can always check my testimony to get all the details. But basically, that moment I was so panicked and start thinking about my parents, because I
Mm-hmm.
really felt like I'm gonna die at the moment. I realized if no one spot me at the corner and come to rescue me, I'm gonna die here in the water today, because my breath is getting like smaller and smaller. So I felt like I'm gonna pass. So at that
Wow.
moment, my mind just like start thinking about my parents, all my family. They fall apart because of death at my funeral, and so I felt really sour. I'm hurt, and I felt like man, I shouldn't have come here with my friends for my first swimming ever, and and I'm only like 22 years old. I haven't done anything, so I felt like, man, it's such a shame, right? I died here today. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so I was ready to just pass. I thought, okay, I'm gonna die, but I was still struggling in the water. So right before I give up my breath, um, and I was struggling. So, and at that moment, something happened. As I was struggling with my hands, like doing like this, and my left hand, uh, land on something felt like someone's thigh, and so I grabbed it. I didn't know what it was, and because my eyes was closed, so I just grabbed it, felt it, and then following the momentum, and my whole body just start moving up. As I'm moving up, I grab the shore and just move up, and then instantly, I wipe water in my eyes, and opening my eyes trying to see, who's flying, who is that guy, that guy that saved me. So, and but what happened was I didn't see anybody, right? And I was like, what just happened? I couldn't figure out, because I'm a very logical person. Uh, and I like mathematics and physics, and I'm doing engineering job right now, so I'm a very logical person. And so at that moment, I tried to figure out what happened. So the first thing I thought about was like, okay, you know, uh, I didn't see anybody. Could that person already be up on the shore? So I just looked to the shore. Within 2 meters, um, there's nobody walking. It's pretty much nobody walking. I was like, okay, that's not possible. So then I thought about, okay, maybe that guy is in water because I pulled so hard. Maybe I pulled him down into the water. So I look into the transparent waters, and there's nobody in the water at all, within the vicinity. Um, so then I was like, okay, I couldn't really figure out. I was keep thinking, but just couldn't figure out. Just let it pass, let it go. I thought maybe that was my what do you call it? Like delusion, something like that, right? And so later on, my friends all came back, but I didn't tell them what happened, because my friends like to teasing me, and they would think I'm trying to blame them. But anyway, so then I didn't tell my parents what happened as well. Um, so so that event happened. I didn't know who saved me. So that pretty much become my mystery in my life. So that happened in my junior year in college, and then after that, well, I, like I said, that's my second turning point, because if I die in a swimming pool, I wouldn't even be here today, right? So,
Wow.
that's huge for me. So I didn't know what exactly happened, who saved me, but I think I know who saved me, and
Amen.
so yeah. So moving and all the way to the last year in college, at actually from the junior and moving to the last year in college, I met the American friend, and who happened to be my martial arts coach in China. So I met him, and we become close friends. We train together, right? And he's very friendly. But I didn't know him very well at the beginning. So, long story short, we became friends. We hang out for about like a half year together, and then later, his name is Nick, and so Nick decided to go back to America, and so before he went back, he asked me to hang out at where he worked at. So he told me, at that night, in that place, in the bar actually. So he told me that he's leaving. So I asked, Nick, why you're leaving? We just start our friendship, but you are leaving for America already. So he told me, yeah, Will, I miss my family, right? And I really want back to America. And what he said next, kind of puzzles me. But what he said was that Will, I think Shanghai, the city, Shanghai is the city I live in before I come into America. So he was in Shanghai too. So he said, Will, Shanghai is a sinful city to me. Sinful, right? And I know what that word means from the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, like I said, but I didn't quite understand what it really means in essence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I get it. But back then I was like, okay, sinful. I know what it means. Okay, yeah. So I told him like, okay, okay, I get it, but actually I don't get it. I just like, okay, I agree with him. So the next day in the morning, we went to a Starbucks, and so sit down at the sit down and have a coffee, and Nick starts sharing his life with me, right? More in depth, detailed life, his life path. So, and because I really respect him as a person. He's a very responsible and well disciplined person. So I asked him, hey Nick, can what you must have a very good childhood, with a pretty much your life before this point was always all good, right? So but he say he kind of like smile and say well, no, not really. I was a bad boy on the streets, years ago, and I was doing really stupid things. That was like, really, Nick? So I can see that in you. So what happened, right? And so Nick started sharing more and more, and he said, well, actually, God, so God, He saved me, He helped me, to become who I am today. So when he mentioned about God, to me at that point, I only know there's one God, Buddha. That's all I know, right? So when he said God, I was like, God, okay, can't be Buddha because you believe in Buddha. I don't think you, but I didn't say it out loud. I just like we're thinking about it. So I asked him like, God, so okay, right, and he started explaining, and I couldn't tell, he was trying to make it clear to me. So he said, Will, it it's actually God's Bible. That's what he said, because he thought I have heard I thought I've heard Bible. So I think that's why he said. So I was like, okay, got a Bible, and he asked me, have you ever heard about Bible? I say, I've heard about Bible, but I never really read it. I don't know what that is. So pretty much stopped from the point on, and then he's saying that yeah, it's the God of the Bible. He actually changed me, and he bring me back on the track. So okay, I heard his story, life story. It's pretty intriguing, but I didn't really know exactly what happened to him, right? What exactly happened to his transformation? And so we departed. He left for America, and because of our conversation, that actually like interests me to know what Bible is all about. So I start searching for anything about Bible, and I'm a person who likes learning things through a audio, like listening to MP3, listening to any video, like watching video and stuff like that. So I look for the MP3 version of the Bible. I find the Old Testament MP3, so I start listening to it, and I finished the whole Old Testament. I just like, you
Mhm.
know, when I'm taking the class in school, I put my headphone in and just listening to the Bible stories. And then when I'm walking on campus, walking anywhere, I listen to the Bible stories. So I finished the Old Testament, right? And so the conclusion was, after listening to the whole Old Testament story, was like, huh, there are so many fairy tale stories, like sea crossing, like the Jericho wall just fell down after people just like blowing the trumpets. I'm like,
Mhm.
how could it happen? That's all fairy tales. It can't be real. It's the fairy tale from the Western religion, product. So I kind of I dropped that, but I kind of went through the Testament, but not really understanding what it's really all about. So that background, 2010, I came into America. I got accepted by a school here in Detroit, Michigan, and start my American life. So what happened first was, once I landed, the Chinese church here, they reach out to our exchange students, Chinese, exchange students. So they invite us to the church, and that was my first time ever in church, in the Christian church. And I mean, I really like the church setting. And when I walk into the church, people start like, greeting us, giving us hug, which is kind of strange, thing to most Chinese, because in China people don't really give much hugs, but American does. But I guess those Chinese brother sister, they have been in America for such a long time, so they do
Mhm.
the same thing as American does. So they hug us, and they ask us, oh, what do you need? Do you need anything? Do you need any help? While you're here in America, because you're new here. So so they always try to provide help, and that's the first impression that I have from the church. Is like, people are so nice. I mean, people are so loving. So I really love the people there, and I'm also a very social person, so that's another reason why I enjoy being in church. So in the church, they do the Bible study on the New Testament, which I never really listened to in China before coming to America. So that's something new to me. I never heard about New Testament Gospels and Paul's letters at that point. When I was in the Bible study, I was like, I had no clue what they're talking about. The laughing to me was like, that doesn't make any sense, doesn't make any logical sense. They start talking about John, book of John, what Jesus did, on their wedding, the first miracle happened, turning the water into wine. I was like, okay, that's another fairy tale. Nice. But so it can be real, right? And so, but out of my respect, I try to stay awake. I was struggling with it, but anyway, so I but I still keep going to church every Friday night, the first year on campus. And so in the meantime, I I met a few Christian friends on campus. I didn't know they are Christians at that point, but they trying to reach out to the Chinese students to share the gospel. Now I understand why they were so so initiative. They come to talk to us and stuff like that. I was like, wow, you are so nice, right? But anyway, so because of that, I made many American Christian friends. So one of my friends, his name is Brad, and he really spent lot hanging out with me, and he realized I'm a very social person and I really enjoy making American friends. And because of that, so he kind of like bait me by asking, like, Will, hey, you know what? I realize you really want to make American friends. You like to hang out with American friends. Hey, I got a Bible study on Monday night. Would you like to join us? There are many American friends. And my friends are all Americans there. So would you like to join us? I was like, yeah, for sure, right? So so I so I just go attend his Bible study. I didn't know that was a Bible study, so I just go. I thought that's a social event. I can meet so many American friends, and also uh, to practice my English. Right? There's like, okay, that's great. The opportunity. So I go meet a lot of friends over there, and the first day, first night over there at the Bible study, and at the beginning it was just hanging out, mingling, like people talking to each other, and later on they all sit down. My friend Brad, he just like he happened to be the leader in the Bible study, so he started leading the Bible study, and I was like, everybody sit down, being quiet. What's going on here, right? Why they sit down here now? And my friends start giving out the handouts, and which is the Bible verses. And I took the handout and started reading it, and I was like, this is like old English to me. Not That's not even more than English. I think he chose the KJV version. I'm not. I don't remember exactly, for sure, but at that point I felt like, wow, this is like old English. I can tell, because I've read Shakespeare's masterpieces. I can tell, that's old English. I was like, interesting with the quotation and stuff. So I thought they were in some kind of, British, like Shakespeare's, works, trying to study it. But later on, I find out, okay, that's Bible, right? So I find out that's Bible study. Anyway, I didn't really, didn't really um love the idea doing the Bible study with them. But again, out of respect for my friend. And I'm a very polite person as well. I'm sure you can tell. So, so I stick along with them, right? The whole semester. So the whole Bible study on Monday night, it didn't really help me, uh, you know, uh, change my belief from believing Buddha to believing God. But at least, through the Bible study, and I got to know what a Christian life look like, because they were sharing about things like how do you pray, when you pray, what kind of things, when you have difficulty in life, you can ask God, you can pray to God. So I learned that, right? So that helped me later on to actually, that really paved the way for the event. So anyway, uh, because my experience in the church and the Monday night Bible study, and I got to know how to how to pray, and what happened next year? Next year there are two events happen, and again, it's a long story. I share more in detail in my testimony. For those of you who really want to hear the whole details, you can always go to my testimony. But for here, I think I would try to make sure that I'm brief. So the next year, which is 2011, what happened was the first event. Long story short, was I lost my wallet, and within wallet there are $900 like cash in the wallet. So I lost the wallet, and I was really upset. And I was like, because $900 and it means a lot to me. I came from China. There was a exchange rate which is 7. So if you times 7 times 900, that's like 6,300 in Chinese currency, and that was my parents' money. So I lost it. I was like, man, that's the end of the world. I will never get the wallet back, and I will never get it back, right? So, but to surprise me later on, a African American a Christian, he happened to witness me losing my wallet. And again, the details are all in my testimony. And so he picked up my wallet, and for some reason he he go to my dormitory where I used to live, and and just so happened that in the dormitory that he goes to where I used to live, my friend happened to be there to get contact information and give it to me. So then later I contact that guy, the African American Christian brother. So yeah, there's a lot of divine setup in the event. But what the most important thing in the event was after the African American brother, he set up a appointment to meet me and give me the wallet. And on that day, I didn't really expect someone like him. Someone like him will return the wallet back to me, because I was very biased. I was, I was pretty simple person at the time. You can call me that way. I have a really pretty bad bias towards certain people at the time. So I didn't expect, the brother is the person that had the wallet and will return back to me. So that led me to ask him a question later on after I walk him out, and so when I get a wallet, and as I walk him out, and I ask him that question, like, hey, sir, I'm just curious, why would you return it back to me? And there are $900 cash, and I don't think anybody you see that $900 cash will think about returning that wallet. That's what happened to me before, because I lost everything in China and never get it back, right?
Mm.
Even $100, it will be gone. I will never get it back. So, but now $900. So that really made me curious, and find out what drove that guy to return the wallet back to me, right? So let me find out. So I asked him, and the response, the things that the brother said, really touched me. That changed my belief around. So what he said was, the thing that he said was, I am a Christian, right? And he said, when I open up the wallet that day, pick up your wallet, and see on your driver license, it's an Asian face. And I think, chances are this Asian guy is an exchange student, and I think he really needs this money. This money means a lot to him. I think I need to return this wallet back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he paused for a second, and then continued and saying, God wants us to love each other as brothers and sisters. And I hope what I have done for you today, you will do the same thing to others.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's what he said. I mean, a lot of people might not feel the power in his words, but at the moment, I mean, my heart was like, it's you. I wish people can feel it, but I felt it very well. That I felt something touching my heart, and I realized, wow, this is so touching. That there gotta be something. There gotta be something's happening, which is God at that point. So at that moment, I instantly believe in God, and then after we we departure. The funny thing is, I went back to my to my apartment, and I was so excited because I got my wallet back and with all the cashes, and also in the meantime, I felt so much great gratitude towards God. So I go on the Facebook, which I never did until that point. I go onto my Facebook to my account and then start making the posting. Thank God, all capital letters and with the exclamation mark. Anyway, so it's a hard word for me to pronounce. So I was so excited. I was like, man, thank God, oh, it's you, right? So, but then after that event, I started, recall the whole process, how that event happened, and I saw the divine setups in the small details, and that convinced even more that that gotta be divine. It gotta be from God. He did that just to make me aware what's happening, that what he's doing. He's trying to change me. So anyway, so after that event, I believe in God, like instantly. But the thing is, you probably can relate to me. A lot of people say, well, I believe in God, I believe in God, right? But it's a very easy statement, like cheap statement to some extent.
Yeah.
Cheap statement you can make, right? Anybody can say that. But the thing is, but the question is, do you really know God, right? So to me, at that point, I believe in God. But if I ask myself, do I really know God? At that point, no, I don't. I just believe in Him. So, but now I really know Him. What led me to this point is that after that, the events happen. So God slowly using events in my, especially in the life event in America. He really used those events to slowly lead me, like little by little, to know Him better and better and better. So the second event, he actually, anyway, so second event happened in China. I went back to China for a month to visit my family. So as I going back, I needed to renew my visa. And as I renewed my visa, there was nothing I can do. I just submit my visa to the American embassy, right? So they review my status and review my background, what I have done in America, to determine whether I can come back to America. So, and there was nothing I can do but waiting. And but at that point, in China, I already booked the return flight. It's a round trip flight, and that's supposed to be August 25th. So, and August 23rd, my visa still hasn't come yet, and I was really anxious, and again, it's very worried because I found out that FBI was investigating me. I didn't know the way
Wow.
is happening. Why FBI is investigating me? But I was hoping that it was okay, right? But at that point, I didn't know why they doing that. So I was very worried and anxious, and I asking for help from my school, trying to help them to intercede for me, and they actually did it. They sent an email to the embassy, and the guy was what they got from them was there's nothing you can do. You do his way. So pretty much I didn't have anything I can do, any help from anybody to address the issue. So August 23rd, I remember at that night, around 11 p.m., and I was about to go to sleep. But, I was really low because my mind was always about the visa because I didn't get a visa, and I was worried about when can I go back to America, continue my education, and everything because I got a lot of stuff here in America. So for some reason, like that night, I thought about God, right? Because I already believe in God. But the thing is, I was in China, and all my family believe in Buddha, so I was still influenced the Buddhist culture and everything. Even though I believe in God, again, I was a baby believer at that point. So so I was like, okay, maybe I can pray to God and just give it a try. I didn't really expect anything miracle gonna happen right away after my prayer, but I saw, might as well just give it a try. Nothing hurts, right? So so I turn off the light and I sit at the bedside, on my bed, and I just like, just calm myself down and start, put my hands together and start pray. Again, I learned all this from the Bible study and the Bible study from the Chinese church and the Bible study on Monday night from my friend Brad's group, right? So I learned. So I know how to pray at this point. So I start praying, like, bow my head out, and so I just, it was so quiet that night, and that was my very first time, like, honestly, my genuine heart, did I pray, because normally I pray with everybody else in the church or in the Bible study, but not by myself. But that moment was my first time ever. I initiated my own prayer, and that prayer was very long. I was like, I was surprised. Like, once I finished my prayer, I was like, how could I pray such a long prayer? I didn't expect that. Yeah, like, because normally in church you'll be like, you'll be probably a few sentences, and you'll say, in the name of Jesus Christ, that's an amen, right? But that night I was like, say a bunch of stuff quietly, and the first thing I said was, God, I know I'm a sinner. I have done so many wrong things, and I know I don't deserve anything good, right? And but actually, well, part of the reason why I said that, because I was in trouble and now seeking help from God. So you need to be humble, right? First, before you can
Yeah.
actually make your request. That's what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do, right? So that's what I did, but I didn't realize what I did was pretty biblical for following the Romans 10
Wow.
pattern. So I did that. I confessed my sin first, and then I start seeking help from God. And I talk about my situation. I say, God, I'm really in the difficult situation. There is nobody can help me, and but you can help me if you will. So basically, I pray a long prayer and finish in the name of Jesus Christ. So I went to sleep, right? So again, I didn't expect anything like immediately happen, right? I just thought, like, okay, all right, I did it. I did anything that I can do. So I went to sleep, and next day, nothing happened. Pretty normal. And the third day, 25th. So I was praying. I prayed the 23rd night, August 23rd night. On 25th, in the morning, 9:30 a.m. The mailsman delivered my visa to me, and so so I got a visa. I was like, I was very happy. Obviously, I was very happy. But in the meantime, I was like, man, why the visa just come now? Because my flight on 25th, 10 a.m. But I already calculated. I actually rescheduled the flight already at that point. So I was like, man, if you if the visa come like yesterday, I could have just rescheduled the flight and to 25th, right? But now I cannot do anything. So like, oh man, I'm happy, but in the meantime, like, man, it kind of sucks. so 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 that day I was happy. I didn't open up the visa to look into details, and then the next day, I'm at home and just open up the visa, and something caught my eyes. So on your visa, I don't know if you have a visa, but usually on the visa you will list the date of issue of your visa, right? So I look at the date of issue of my visa. It's August 24th, right? And then I felt like, just pause for a second and think about it. Like, that's impossible. Yeah, because because um, for a visa to be approved and be delivered to me, it at least will take 3 days. That's a rule. But what happened to me, the first time at that moment was the visa approved 24th, but then 25th in China time in the morning, 9:30 a.m. I got a visa. I'm like, how could it happen? How could it happen? And also, like, that's August 24th. The thing is, there is time difference between America and China. So I prayed at August 23rd, and the next day my visa got issued. I'm like, that's that's quite unbelievable. So then I realized, well, it gotta be God that grant his permission, his favor. So anyway, that event, helped me see the power in the prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. So that made me believe in Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And then so and after that point, I got baptized 2012 April 2012. So once I got baptized, my friend Brad, he always tried to disciple me, right? And so he approached me, and then he said, Will, now that you're baptized, what do you want to know next? What do you want to know or do next? So I said, Brad, I'm really interested in about to knowing more truth about the Bible. So what can I do to know more about the Bible? So what Brad told me was like, he gave me advice saying, Will, just try this. Every time you pray, add this sentence in prayer. The sentence is, Father, please teach me your word by yourself, not by any man. So, again, at that point, I'm still a baby believer, right? I don't know I don't know better. So, but to me, like, Brad is senior to me, senior in the faith. So I need to follow his advice. So I took his advice, and every time I pray, especially at night before I go to bed, I will just add that sentence into my prayer. And little did I know that prayer just changed everything, literally everything. So what happened was, after that point, I was studying Bible by myself, right? So, but for some reason, like, my hunger was like, my hunger to find out the truth about Bible was like, I can't even describe it. Like, every day when I finished school, going back to my apartment, the first thing I would do is to open up the Bible and sit down and open up my laptop and then start listening to different all kinds of sermons from pastors and different commentary, all kinds of books, and start studying, like highlighting the Bible. I was using the ESV Bible at the point. The Bible has all the highlights that I made. So I spent all my time studying Bible, and my roommates came back, and they saw me every day. I was doing the same thing in the living room, because I was sleeping in the living room, so everybody can see me with what I was doing. And they were like, Will, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm just studying the Bible. And like, they're not believers, so they're Chinese, so they so they're not Christian at all, and they're like, Bible again? You read Bible every day. What in the Bible? You every day to study, right? So they didn't quite understand. But anyways, I was like, man, there's so much meat in the Bible, that like kept me captivated. Like, you know, I just like I want to spend every minute, every second into studying the Bible. Like even today, nowadays, I that's what I do. You know, after work, I would open up the Bible, open up any commentary that will help me better understand the Bible. To sum up, you know, I think, you know, for the purpose of, you know, making people understand where I'm come from, and I came from pretty much Buddhist background, but God of Israel, he has pretty much planted a seed in my life. You know, I would say every moment of my life. The thing is, like, you know, we tend not to look back in life and to see His presence, you know, in our life. That's a problem. You know, I believe He's in everyone's life, but if you know, take care to, like, to just to think about what happened to you in any events of your life, you probably will see His hand in your life. Just like, you know, my what I was sharing, like, in a swimming pool, I almost died, and at that point, I believe in God. I believe in Buddha. Again, you know, Buddha was my God at that point. So really, like, at that point, I thought Buddha saved me. You know, if I have to, you know, give credit to a God who saved me, that would be Buddha, not God of Israel. You know, but God of Israel, he was so patient and merciful and gracious, and he just wait and wait and wait, even though even during the time when I don't really know him, but he slowly, just little by little, led me through the events and through the people that he had planted. He has planted around me to let me become who I am today.
Yeah, that's you have a remarkable story. I love seeing God's providence over your entire life. You know, just it is undeniable that the God that we serve is sovereign over every single life, whether you come from China or from, you know, the Middle East or whatever. That, you know, where you come from doesn't have an impact on what you should believe or who God is. You know, it is the Lord who impacts you, and you found the truth. So yeah, it's amazing. I am
Thank
so
you so
sorry
much,
that we have
Vanessa.
to, yeah, thank you so much as well. I'm so
Yep.
sorry that we have to cut it short. It is, I mean, we could talk for hours, I'm sure. So for those of you who are watching, please check out Brother Will's channel on YouTube, A Rock for a Pillow Ministries. Correct, right? That's where they can find your full testimony, where you go on a little bit longer, and
Rock for
like he
pillow.
says in his, okay, yes, Rock for a Pillow Ministries. So yeah, brother, I'm so sorry that we have to go. Yes, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of A New Creation, True Life Testimonies. Please join us next time. Until that, may God's face shine upon you and be blessed. God bless.